Welcome to Hero Villains. What do you think about Orion versus Beta Ray Bill? The universe has witnessed battles between angels and demons, between creator gods and world destroyers. But what happens when two of the greatest warriors, two embodiments of power, face each other in a merciless battle? On one side stands the son of Darkseid, the mightiest warrior of New Genesis, a being who wields the Astro Force and rides the legendary Astro Harness machine, Orion. On the other side stands the Cosmic Horsebearer, an alien warrior gifted with the power of the God of Thunder, one who was deemed worthy by the hammer Mjolnir itself, Beta Ray Bill. Orion carries within him the undying flame of war from Apocalypse, yet fights for the peace of New Genesis. Beta Ray Bill carries within him the heart of a warrior who lost everything, reborn inside the body of a destruction machine. When the rage of heaven meets the cosmic thunderstorm, who do you think will be the last one standing?
Orion is one of the most fearsome and powerful warriors ever to appear in the history of the gods. As the biological son of Darkseid, the ruthless ruler of Apocalypse, Orion carries within him the bloodline of destruction and primal fury. However, his fate took a different turn when he was adopted by the gods of New Genesis under a peace treaty between the two opposing worlds. Though raised under the light of New Genesis, Orion has always struggled with the savage nature dwelling deep within his soul. His greatest battle is not only against Darkseid, but also against the darkness inside himself that never ceases to rise. Orion exists on a plane far beyond the ordinary spatial dimensions of the multiverse. He belongs to the fourth world, a realm situated outside every familiar structure of reality and existing within the circle of the ancient gods. Apocalypse and New Genesis are not merely ordinary planets, but are regarded as two halves of a colossal entity of cosmic magnitude. Within the realm of New Genesis, all lower universes exist only as small pockets of space floating beneath the power of the ancient gods. The title Supreme Killing Machine is no exaggeration when applied to Orion. He is celebrated as a warrior whose combat skill and ferocity are nearly impossible to surpass. During covert missions on Apocalypse, Orion was considered the finest warrior of that very hellish empire. His brutality is so immense that legend holds he could wipe out entire armies of Apocalypse in nothing more than blood-soaked training sessions. Every blow he strikes carries enough force to crush divine beings and shake battlefields stretched across the stars. Orion has also confronted entities of creation-level destructive scale. He once raised his hand against Siva, the god of strength and power, a being capable of tearing apart reality with his own energy. In that battle, Orion did not flinch before the chaos that could have swallowed all existence. He stood like a divine storm amid the ruins of collapsing dimensions, using his will and overwhelming power to prevent the collapse of creation. In one of his most brutal confrontations, Orion stood and fought Superman directly when the Man of Steel was empowered by an enormous solar energy source, a state in which even the mightiest members of the Justice League could not hold their ground. Yet Orion charged into battle without a moment of hesitation. He faced Superman's overwhelming power head-on with the ferocity and will of a true war god. Orion's power was further proven when he engaged the first Sun in single combat, an entity bearing the blood of Zeus and wielding tremendous divine power. Though Orion ultimately fell after that fierce battle, the feat remains extraordinarily impressive because the first Sun had previously defeated Wonder Woman in her divine state. The fact that Orion could hold his ground and push the battle to such an intense degree demonstrates that he belongs to a tier of power far beyond the vast majority of gods and superheroes. Orion displays a ferocity and might that is nearly impossible to stop. A single punch from him is enough to send Superman flying off the battlefield, while an elbow strike from him once knocked out Tachyon, one of the most powerful of the new gods. Instantly. Over time, both Superman and Orion have come to be regarded as equals in strength, something very few characters have ever achieved against the Man of Steel. Orion's durability is no less terrifying than his offensive power. He once survived attacks from the Void Hound, a creature powerful enough to destroy 10 star systems in a single test run. Even when Superman drove him down from the sky with a maximum speed dive strike, Orion rose back to his feet with a defiant smile on his face. Orion has also passed through a reactor surpassing the power of apocalyptic fire pits and capable of generating thousands of nuclear explosions per minute. Even Infinity Man acknowledged that Orion's strength exceeded every limit he had ever imagined. Orion's speed has also reached a divine level, as he is capable of moving at the speed of thought. In a moment nearly imperceptible to the senses, Orion flew from Earth to New Genesis in under a single heartbeat without using a boom tube or his customary astro harness armor. That alone demonstrates that Orion himself is a complete cosmic power source, a war god who exists beyond the ordinary limits of space and time. Orion once intercepted a beam of light fired by Light Ray, a character renowned for his extraordinary speed. Even in a state of blindness and severe weakening, Orion's senses still operated with terrifying precision. With his back turned to an enemy, he was still able to catch an incoming bullet and hurl it back into the barrel of the gun that fired it before the one who pulled the trigger could even register what had just happened. That level of perceptual sharpness was so great that even Metron failed to detect that Orion was blind at that moment. Orion once traversed to the farthest reaches of space in an instant to pursue Darkseid. Orion asserts that he and the other gods are capable of moving through the stream of time, indicating they are no longer bound by the ordinary laws of physics that govern reality. Beyond that, Orion can also alter his physical size at will, making his presence as overwhelming as that of an ancient war god. Even when stripped of his divinity, Orion was still able to produce the Genesis Box, a tool capable of destroying and recreating an entire universe. Orion's regenerative capacity is equally terrifying. After being shot through multiple vital organs and plunging into the fire pits of Apocalypse, he continued to rise and fight as though his body had never been destroyed. The Astro Harness armor that Orion always carries is in fact formed from the Astro Force, the divine energy source intrinsic to his very nature. Even if the armor is completely destroyed, Orion can reconstruct it at will. However, he is not dependent on the armor to fly or to channel the Astro Force. That very power source once nearly caused Orion to tear the Earth apart when he released the energy in the opposite direction. Orion's power reached its peak when he became part of the group of 5 great powers, consisting of Orion, Dr. Fate, Darkseid, Highfather, and Etrigan. Orion contributed only 1/5 of the group's total power, yet the unified energy was described by Dr. Fate as nearly omnipotent and sufficient to push his mind to the edge of madness. The group of 5 used that power to confront the anti-life entity. The mere fact that Orion formed part of that power source proves he stands far beyond every limit known to mortal beings. Orion used the Astro Force to contain the Oblivion Bomb, a weapon capable of annihilating the entire universe almost instantaneously. He stood at the center of that obliterating energy like an immovable god, using his own strength to halt the collapse of existence. Feats such as these have transformed Orion into the very embodiment of war, power, and indomitable will within the universe.
I sincerely hope you will subscribe to the channel. It would mean a great deal to us, and you are the most wonderful person. Thank you so very much.
Now let us talk about Beta Ray Bill. Beta Ray Bill has long been regarded as one of the mightiest and most respected warriors. As an Alpha Plus level hero, Bill's power is frequently placed on par with some of the most iconic figures of strength, such as Silver Surfer, Gladiator, Hulk, Hercules, Sentry, and even Thor, the god of thunder of Asgard. These are all entities capable of shaking planets, tearing apart cosmic battlefields, and standing against threats of divine magnitude. However, while the Hulk's strength depends on rage and Gladiator grows stronger through self-confidence, Beta Ray Bill stands out for his remarkable consistency. He requires no extreme emotion to amplify his power, because Bill's strength already exists at a colossal level even in his baseline state. What makes Beta Ray Bill truly exceptional is not raw power alone, but also his warrior spirit and indomitable will. He is a Corbinite warrior who has endured countless battles for survival across the stars. Bill's body was engineered to become the perfect living weapon, granting him speed, endurance, and strength that surpass the vast majority of beings in the galaxy. The feats Bill has accomplished alone are more than enough to prove his standing without any need for further exaggeration. A defining testament to Beta Ray Bill's strength is that he has engaged Thor Odinson in direct combat on multiple occasions and has consistently been regarded as Thor's equal. In their very first encounter, Bill had just awakened from a prolonged state of hibernation when he discovered Thor aboard his vessel. The misunderstanding quickly erupted into a fierce battle between two warriors wielding divine power. The confrontation was so intense that Thor acknowledged he had never faced an opponent who could match him the way Beta Ray Bill did. The two warriors hurled themselves at each other with full force, causing the space around them to tremble from the devastating impacts. Every blow carried enough force to crush divine steel and send shockwaves tearing through the hull of the massive ship. Beta Ray Bill showed no signs of being outmatched against Mjolnir, the weapon that had defeated countless powerful entities across the Marvel Universe. He continuously responded with extraordinary strength and combat skill, proving himself worthy of standing alongside the guardian god of Asgard. As the battle dragged on and both drew closer to Earth, the curse Odin had placed upon Thor began to take effect, causing Thor to gradually revert to the form of Donald Blake. That was what ultimately brought their first confrontation to an end. Nevertheless, that battle left a deep impression on Thor, for it was the first time he had faced a warrior who could go toe-to-toe with him without wavering. From that moment forward, Beta Ray Bill was no longer seen as an ordinary alien warrior, but became one of the most powerful entities ever to exist in the universe when Odin decided to organize an absolutely fair confrontation to determine which of the two was the stronger warrior. To accomplish this, the Allfather stripped away all magic and every factor that could provide either of them with an advantage. No enhanced divine power remained, no supernatural edge of any kind, leaving only pure strength, combat skill, and the will of two of the greatest warriors. The confrontation was so fierce that both collapsed after delivering their final blows. The arena shook from the tremendous force of impact produced by two entities wielding divine power. The surrounding air seemed crushed under the pressure of each punch as shockwaves spread across the entire battlefield. The fight ended in a draw, though many still regard Beta Ray Bill as the true victor because he was the first to recover and rise after the battle. Beta Ray Bill is not the kind of warrior who always fights through uncontrolled rage. In many confrontations with Thor, Bill frequently attempted to restrain himself and find a way to bring his friend back to a calm state. He was willing to endure a series of devastating blows rather than immediately unleashing his full power in return. Even when overwhelmed by Thor's fury, Bill still retained the capacity to counter with strikes powerful enough to shake the battlefield. In another clash, Thor fell into the warrior madness under the manipulation of Valkyrie. In that state, Thor became a storm of destruction that was nearly impossible to contain. Beta Ray Bill and Silver Surfer joined forces to stop him before things spiraled entirely out of control. Bill fought with tremendous tenacity, continuously charging to the front line to resist the savage power of Thor. Even so, against a state of madness amplified to its absolute peak, Bill was ultimately defeated after a brutal battle. In his battle against Stardust, Bill battered that entity to the point of obliteration while simultaneously destroying the entire planet beneath them. The ferocious clash was described as shaking the very sky and the structure of the universe itself. What made it even more remarkable was that Bill appeared to have defeated Stardust not once, but twice, demonstrating that his strength is by no means a temporary phenomenon. One of Beta Ray Bill's most staggering feats was his killing of Fenris Wolf. This colossal monster, a descendant of Loki, has generally been considered powerful enough to go head-to-head with Thor himself. In that battle, Bill overwhelmed Fenris with his tremendous power, incinerating the creature's body until nothing but bare bones remained. Bill engaged Silver Surfer in direct combat and performed remarkably well until he was struck in the back of the head by Silver Surfer's board. And Bill destroyed Omega Ray, Astaroth, a powerful entity that had previously been capable of overwhelming both Stardust and Bill simultaneously. He survived multiple attacks from Galactus, the Devourer of Worlds. He effortlessly defeated a Storm Giant. He effortlessly eliminated Cancerverse Colossus, who was believed to be on par with his 616 counterpart. Bill used Stormbreaker to slash through a beam of Galactus' energy and crack the armor of Galactus. This is a battle between two warriors of the light, two of the purest souls in the universe, each carrying within them their own tragedy and their own mission. When Orion and Beta Ray Bill face each other, in a pure, unarmed one-on-one fight, this would be an exceptionally evenly matched battle. Orion possesses the power of a new god and has defeated Darkseid with his bare fists. Beta Ray Bill possesses the strength of a cybernetic body, resonating with the blessing of Asgard, and has brought Thor to his knees. Both are capable of delivering blows that shake continents and destroy planets when unleashing their full power. However, Orion holds the advantage of far longer combat experience, having lived and fought across millennia, while Bill, despite being a great warrior, has only been active for a matter of centuries. The difference in experience could prove to be the decisive factor in a prolonged battle. When the Astroforce of Orion is energy drawn from the source itself, the supreme entity of the DC universe, it is reality-level destructive energy capable of piercing all defenses and harming omnipotent beings. Bill's Stormbreaker is a weapon blessed by Odin, capable of absorbing and releasing every form of energy, including cosmic lightning and energy from other dimensions. And when Orion once used the Astroforce to repel Darkseid's Omega Beam, a force capable of erasing its target from existence entirely, Bill once used Stormbreaker to absorb and redirect energy from Galactus. When the Astroforce collides with Stormbreaker, the result would not be simple destruction, but would instead trigger a chain reaction that shakes the very fabric of space-time surrounding them. Orion possesses the Astro Harness, which allows him to fight in space at faster than light speeds with absolute three-dimensional maneuverability. Bill can use Stormbreaker to open space portals and travel between dimensions, but he has no personal war machine that rivals the Astro Harness. This grants Orion an enormous tactical advantage, as he can control the battlefield, attack from every angle at speeds that cannot be matched, and withdraw to regroup whenever necessary. However, Bill has Scuttlebutt, a living ship with artificial intelligence capable of supporting him in combat. But in a one-on-one fight, Scuttlebutt cannot match the Astro Harness in terms of speed and firepower. Both warriors possess an indomitable will. Orion has fought against his own destructive instincts across millennia and has never once surrendered. Beta Ray Bill has lost everything: his planet, his people, his body, yet continues to fight for those who are powerless. Neither of them would fall because of pain or fear. However, Orion has one critical vulnerability: the primal rage. When the rage erupts, Orion becomes stronger and more ferocious, but also loses control. An enraged Orion is an Orion who fights like a wounded beast, abandoning all tactics and focusing solely on destruction. For an analytical warrior like Beta Ray Bill, this is precisely the opening. Bill can exploit this loss of control, turning Orion's very strength into his own weakness. And yet, it was in the grip of that very rage that Orion defeated Darkseid, a being superior to him in every regard. That proves that when Orion loses control, he does not become weaker, but transforms into an unstoppable force of nature, a destructive tempest before which even the Dark Lord himself had to fall. In a battle where strength is balanced, weapons are equivalent, and will is absolute, the deciding factor will come down to something Orion possesses that Beta Ray Bill does not: the Mother Box. Orion's Mother Box is not merely a healing device, but a transcendent intelligence capable of analyzing the battlefield, predicting the opponent's movements, and providing Orion with instant tactical solutions. It can manipulate local space-time to create advantages, heal Orion's wounds in an instant, and even interfere with Bill's cybernetic systems if the right frequency is found. Bill has Scuttlebutt, but Scuttlebutt was not designed for divine-level tactical intervention the way the Mother Box was. While Bill must rely entirely on his own instincts and experience, Orion has an invisible ally analyzing every aspect of the battle in real time. This is where the advantage tilts toward Orion. This is an extraordinarily close battle, one of the most evenly matched confrontations the universe has ever witnessed. The power of Beta Ray Bill is undeniable. He is the most worthy warrior ever to wield Stormbreaker, a machine of destruction with a heart of absolute purity. The fact that he defeated Thor, survived encounters with cosmic entities, and continued to fight after losing everything stands as testament to his extraordinary will. Nevertheless, Orion wins. Orion can fight with a level of speed, strength, and precision that Beta Ray Bill, no matter how exceptional, would struggle to keep pace with over the course of a prolonged battle. And that is our analysis of the clash between the two greatest warriors of two universes, Orion and Beta Ray Bill. What do you think?
Let us know your thoughts by leaving a comment down below. If you enjoy high-level matchups like this one, do not forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss any upcoming cosmic battle. And remember to follow us. Thank you all for watching, and we will see each other again in the next battles, where the greatest fights are analyzed down to the very last detail.